What's up, everybody? I'm Bobby Nuggs, and you're tuning to Carrying the Torch podcast. Today's a very special episode, number 15, with some longtime friends, inspirations to me, and many across the world, because these guys are out here making an impact, saving lives in a lot of ways, because they're saving people from police encounters and even more. They're activists, freedom fighters, my good friends, the Pop Brothers at Law. How are you guys today?
Fantastic.
I appreciate you so much for joining me on the show. It's not Shut the Fuck Up Friday, but we're close to it, man.
It's shut the fuck up every day.
It is Shut the Fuck Up every day. First off, I want to shout out our sponsors real quick: Cold Room Drip, Underground Culture, Ripple Maine, Tier 401, Mr. Impossible's Apothecary. Without you guys, we couldn't keep this show keep going. We've been going strong in the last year. We've been producing about 1 to 2 episodes every single month, and from the get-go, I wanted to get you guys on the show. So here we are. Everything.
Well, when I first saw you were doing it, I was like, we gotta hit him up. We're not doing a lot of podcasts these days, but it was like, dude, you came and met us in Boston. I think it was, I don't know, 7 years ago, 6 years
at least.
I don't remember when it was, but you drove all the way from where you were to come see us, and that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity you guys provided me there when you guys were doing the Cannabis Talk 101 show, and that was still like something I keep as part of my, even my LinkedIn bio. I say that I was on that show with you guys, because that was a proud moment for me to have the opportunity to sit with you two and just shoot the shit,
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome.
And that's what it's all about. I'm getting to see you guys just over the last several eight years or so. You've done so many great things, you know what I mean? Just big up your contributions in the community. And as friends and as fathers, I get to watch you guys on social media, and I always have loved how you handle things, how you operate in the industry, and it's always kind of been family first for the Pop Brothers at Law, right?
You got it.
Who's
Yep.
older? Who's older?
He is.
How many years?
Fuck,
6,
a lot. 6,
7.
Yeah, that's a significant age group. So, growing up together, you both pursued careers in law. Obviously, the older brother maybe inspired the younger brother to get into that industry and pursue law.
Yeah, tell him.
Yeah,
tell
pretty
him
much. I figured if he could do it, I could do it.
No, that wasn't the story. The story was you were going to get married. You were
No, that's not the story
yes,
either.
It is. And I said you want to act, be a lawyer. You can always put food on the table.
No, the story was I got into law to make money to finance the plays and films I was writing.
Yeah. Right. After I said you may as well act, because attorneys like acting anyways.
And so I did that, and it all worked out because I financed plays and films along the way.
Yeah. So you kind of, for you were passion forward, passion first. Your brother was establishing himself in a very difficult industry to even get to the level of being a lawyer. I mean, you got to pass the bar exam and do all these types of things. And for two brothers to actually, succeed in that aspect, that's kind of rare. I think that's why, you guys have such a unique persona together, because I have never met really other two brother lawyers, really. And that's a powerhouse team. And you guys proved that right off the bat, years ago. Because also, for some of our listeners who may not be aware of, some of the backgrounds of the Pop Brothers at Law, you're also heavily integrated in family with West Coast Cure. Jarrett is your son as well, right? And your nephew. So
Jay Cures, yep.
Yep. You guys were right in the middle of one of the biggest brands in maybe the world still to this day. West Coast Cure arguably is one of the first and still one of the biggest, most relevant brands in the United States and worldwide.
Yeah.
So I remember first hearing about you guys because, Jarrett had gotten in a situation like 2012 where he got in some trouble in a car and got a bunch of property and products seized. And you guys were able to get him off the case and got him that product back. And for our community, that was unheard of. No one's really ever been able to do that before.
Well, you know why?
That case like?
You know why it's never been done, so to speak, before, is because 75% of the lawyers out there aren't going to do what we did.
Yeah.
They're going to do what we call plead them or bleed them and plead them.
Yep.
Take your money, go to the first appearance and try to get you a deal. They don't look at the body cam. They don't look at the video. They don't look at the footage to see where the cop went wrong or he was lying. And we literally caught the cop lying on the stand. Well, that was the second case, actually. There was two of them. The original one was in his house, and there was an illegal search, and we fought the illegal search and we won.
Yep.
Without going into all the details, but the attorneys that we initially hired, because we didn't want to represent our own kid type thing, like doctor, like, and these lawyers promised to fight it. And first appearance, my brother went, they didn't meet him, and he was in his civilian clothes, and heard the attorney tell the DA that he'd get his client to take 90 days and a wrist and an ankle bracelet and a felony.
Yeah.
Tell him what happened just real quick.
Yeah, so my brother and my nephew went to that law firm. They were two brothers, as a matter of fact.
They were.
They were two brothers, and we wanted the older brother. Then my brother said, "We want you there. We want to make sure you're there." Not his, like my brother would categorize the younger brother as a doofus-looking guy. And so when I get to court, I see it's the younger brother, and I'm sitting there. I'm minding my own business, sitting in the corner in the courtroom, and the DA and this attorney go out to the hall to talk, and I followed him out there, kind of just hung out, sat next to him, near him, and I hear him tell it, yeah, I'll get my client to take this deal. You know, instead of 3 felonies, he'll plead to 1, do some jail time, blah, blah, blah.
And this is after when we initially met them, my son was like, I will go to jail. I did not consent to a search. Back then, there was enough people in the old market where he probably would have been okay, but he's like, I will go to jail before I make a plea. Yeah. And then they went in and did this.
And so I hear that, and they go inside the courtroom, and I'm just waiting because I know what's coming, because I know my nephew. And it was about 3 minutes later, and if you ever been to court and you're in the hallway, you open double doors, you go in, there's another set of doors, you go into the courtroom. So there's 2 sets of doors there. You can't really hear much. But boy, I heard, I told you I'm not fucking taking any deals. You're fired. And my nephew just screamed. And that was it. And, you know, we fired the guys, and me and my brother took over. And that particular one, they had their body cams on. They went to his house because he was getting robbed. Somebody knocked on his door. He was expecting a delivery. They had a shotgun in his face. He pushed him out. He screamed. The neighbor called the cops. He came outside, locked the door, and was waiting for the cops. The cops come, and they just start browbeating him.
They profile
instead of going after these people with a gun that tried to rob him. What did you have in there that they wanted to get? What's in there? What's in there that you want to get, that they wanted? And, you know, he shut the fuck up, said, I don't consent to a search. And they had emptied out his pockets in a pat down, and they put his keys next to him. And they said, are those your keys to the house? He said, yeah, but I don't consent to a search. They picked up the keys, and then they walked around for like 45 minutes. And you can hear him on
it was 45 minutes before they took the keys.
And then they're going, how are we going to get in the house? How are we going to get in there? Call Sergeant so-and-so. He'll know. How are we going to get in? And then 45 minutes later, they take the keys and they go in claiming exigent circumstances, some kind of emergency, which that ship sailed after, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so when you do these cases, oftentimes the DA handling it is seeing things for the first time. Like right there, even when we filed the motion to squash the search and illegal search, and we told the DA, do you know what these cops did and said? Because they lied in the police report. There was a whole other story in the police report. And so the DA took the video, watched it with the cop, came back to us and said, yeah, cop's not going to testify. Because he's a fucking liar. So we were able to get that case dismissed. The cop didn't testify, and that was it. Years later, he gets pulled over doing a delivery because he was on his cell phone. That's why he got pulled over. And what's that smell? And, the right answer is I'm not discussing my day, but you know, nephew's a little more versed and said, well, smell really isn't probable cause anymore. You know, there's a split on that, and gave our card. Do you have one of our cards on you, Craig? Gave
You
our
know what?
card.
That's funny. I have one. One comes in. My sons are doing a vape pen,
Yeah. Yeah.
and in every package,
No way.
there's the script.
That's awesome.
And
That's
on the
great, Marc.
bottom of that, right here, after the script, this is what we had on the cards back then. We didn't have this stuff up here, just this right here. Go ahead.
Which
You want me to read it? So-
well, I know. It says to any law enforcement personnel, I do not consent to any searches. I invoke my fifth. I'm not going to talk to you without my lawyer present. And in big red letters, it says I do not consent to a search. And body cam's on, audio's on, and he hands the card to the cop through the window, and then the cop gets him out of the car and walks him around to the curb, out of view. And, you know, you can hear the cop saying, I want to search your car. I don't consent. And then suddenly the audio goes, right
Wow.
when she said he consented. You do the timeline on the police report, and right there where she claims he consented, the audio goes out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I questioned, what happened to the audio? Oh, technical difficulties. I don't know, you know. And then I said, well, I got to know, because I think you might be a genius. We've taught my nephew his whole life. You don't consent to searches. You don't talk to the cops. And he handed you this card, and I made her read the card into the record in front of the judge, and where it says I don't consent to a search, and he said I don't consent to a search, and then you get him out of the car, and 2 minutes later, he consented. Well, how did you do that? How did you get my nephew to suddenly consent? And she said, you're confusing me, because I went through the whole timeline. And I said, well, isn't that because you're a liar? And you're really not supposed to do that to witnesses. It's, you let the judge make that decision. But I was so mad, right? My nephew, the judge glared at me, and and
then he was done. And then
no more questions.
And then Jarrett got on the stand and testified that, did he give consent? He said no. And then he told the judge, if I consented to a search, I would be disowned from my family.
Yeah,
I've been taught by my dad and my brother and blah, 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 blah. And I would be disowned. And the cop found her, unfortunately, only not credible, but she actually perjured herself, but not credible, and dismissed the case on unreasonable search and seizure. Most attorneys don't go through that extra step on these. Well, this was felonies back then.
Yeah.
And attorneys still take the easy route out and don't run all the motions they should run. I mean, that's why we're not the most expensive, but we're not the cheapest either, because we build in, like, we're going to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's not like these guys, we might do it for 10 grand and they do it for 3,500. Yeah. You're going to be in and out with a record in 10 minutes. Rather than a year and a half later, we've aged the case, we get all the documents, we get all the video, we get all the everything else. Yeah. And then he says to us, after all this is said and done, we got him off of 4 felonies twice now. And you need to go on social media and give people advice. I
was going to wonder what was the catalyst for you.
You give my friend, because we've been on the, let's call it the traditional side forever, right? So we know that world. And he's like, you give them all my friends advice, free advice. And no one does this on social media. So one day he calls us up and says, Be Real. There's a show on Be Real TV called Getting High with Adam L. Yep. And they wanted 2 lawyers to talk about the new proposition coming up. This was back in 16 or 15 or something.
January 22nd, 2015, we went on.
Dude, that's awesome.
And
you know the date.
2016 is when Prop 215 was coming out. Yep. And they were looking for attorneys to come on to talk about it, but also smoke. Yep. And they couldn't find anybody. And Jarrett said, my uncle and nephew will do it.
That's amazing.
So we did.
So after that whole situation, which for our community and like as a 710 culture and dabs are really forming at that time with Jay Cures going through that, and being, successfully, what is the word, I guess, acquitted or what, he didn't get in trouble, right? That is a huge turning point for you guys, because from there, that's when you branded yourself as the Pot Brothers at Law around that age time. Shout out to Adam too, another big pioneer and one of the first people to like speak for the culture, right? In a lot of ways. So Adam put you guys on and gave you your first platform to speak as, cannabis enthusiasts and lawyers in California.
Yeah, he did.
Cool, man.
He did.
That's crazy, dude. So like it was core members of the community that kind of sparked this whole entire movement you guys created for the last freaking 9-10 years, so respect.
Yeah, no, it was I mean, I was done with social media in the first place around that time. And I said, what the hell? And we came up with the reason. It's kind of funny little story. If you go to our main page on Instagram is POT_brothers_at_law. That's because I didn't know when I made up the page at Be Real Studios, I was putting in a space.
Yeah, space.
So he always gets pissed at me because, it's not just Pot Brothers at Law, one word.
Yeah.
I think we have a backup page that says that now.
You do know.
But it was like pot underscore.
Yep.
It was like,
I remember the OG page and all the underscores.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam and Be Real. They had me to the studio too. That was a cool place to get to visit. And
it was.
If you were invited there to, even on Adam's show, you kind of felt like you're reaching a certain level and all this stuff.
Well, I'll chalk that up to my kid too, because
yeah, absolutely.
I think at that point I really wasn't into hip hop too much, but Be Real's like, yeah, I think I know who that is. I mean, let alone this Adam kid. Yeah. And no, it was great. Took pictures with Be Real, and I saw the smoke box set up, and I'm like, oh man, we're gonna be on that one day. And sure enough, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but it was many years later, a few years ago now, that he had us on the smoke box.
So cool. That's a huge, he's had some of the biggest artists in the entire world inside that concept, and people have gone to adapt that same concept. But, Lewis, Be Real, he really has done major things for our industry. And, even Burner, who is now a mogul in the scene, he knows even like some of the first people to really do this shit was those guys, Shabinsky, Lewis, Cypress Hill crew down there.
Yep.
They really, even in the 90s, they were some of the first outspoken activists. I think they got banned from SNL in like 1992.
Yeah, because he smoked. I just saw that actually.
Yeah, they got banned from SNL for smoking, and they were warned beforehand. Like, if you guys smoked like X amount, and it was a huge fine.
I saw a clip on.
They did it.
I saw a clip on that recently with Be Real talking, and he said that he probably wouldn't have done it if they didn't hammer him so many times.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, which is funny story. So about a year or two ago, maybe, no, probably 2 years ago, we got hit up by Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
He has a show. It's so dumb, it's criminal. It was on Peacock, one season. I think it's 8 or 9 episodes. Check in episode 7 or 8. He had us on.
Cool.
And we're sitting there waiting for him to come on set, and the producers come up to me. I'm the old guy, lawyer. Could you tell him, because Peacock is channel 4. Mm-hmm. And he's like, could you tell him not to smoke? We're trying not to have smoking on. And I'm like, excuse me?
Especially him.
You really think I am going to tell him not to smoke? And he came out and they didn't want him to smoke. And I sat there and shut the fuck up. And he threw a fit and he had to join anyways. But he ended up just kind of, if you look at the episode, they blur it out.
Yeah, they blur it out. That's
even though it was streaming, he's like, this is streaming. What the fuck? He was pissed.
Yeah.
But they had me try to tell him not to smoke.
Yeah,
but we had a great episode.
So you guys are like embedded in California's cannabis history and culture, and got to meet some of these OGs, Snoop and Cypress Hill, and Redman and Method Man. But those two guys from California, they really put on for our culture in so many ways. And I remember like maybe 13 years ago, there was this pistachios commercial that came out, and Snoop was sitting on like a green throne and had like a medical cannabis vial bottle, green one on his like person. He popped it open and poured out pistachios from it. And it was like, so there's these little innuendos, man. I was like, wow, times are actually changing. And he's been a spokesperson, I think, humbly, and he's done well ending the stigma worldwide. You know what I mean?
I mean, that was actually our 2 reasons we ended up going online and, give free advice, because that's just who we were. You don't have to call us and pay us $500 to get a simple answer. We can give to thousands of people at the time, hundreds of people. I mean, we had no idea. But it was getting the word out to mainly medical patients back then. And two was breaking the stigma, standing there in the suit. Marc talked. I stood behind him and I smoked a joint in every fucking video.
Yeah, I love the format.
And it was to break the stigma.
Yeah.
We're lawyers. I smoke. I'm a professional. Go fuck you if you don't like it.
Yeah.
We're just as productive and successful as anybody else.
I love it.
And so it wasn't until we got to about 500,000 people and they were really cutting down on the smoking.
Yeah.
That we had to make a decision. Do we want to reach more people and grow? Or at first I'm like, fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. But then it was like, you know what? We had to take down like fucking 3,000 videos of us smoking and start from scratch. And then it was our social media guru guy who told us that's what you got to do. And we went all in with him. And now we're at what, 1-1 on
You're
IG.
bigger, better than ever, man.
We're at 1 something with, I don't know how it works on Instagram. Instagram's actually, or not Instagram, Facebook's actually what really took off.
Yeah.
Which we weren't really paying attention to that all the time we were growing IG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Instagram was the first like initial outlet and platform you guys use. But once you get to that level, it trickles, especially if you start to monetize and utilize those other platforms. And, people want to hear what you have to say. And it's like your Shut the F Up Friday videos became just iconic, like for the industry. Like there are tens of thousands of people who look forward to seeing you guys pop up on a Friday on Instagram and just kind of saying hi, smoking up with us a little bit and just giving us a little bit of advice. Cause normally I've had a lawyer on retainer for years just by being an activist and doing this stuff. So it's like for you guys to step to the plate and make it not just like it's an educational process and platform you guys created. And it's extremely valuable advice, So like, it's awesome. Just wanted to big up Shut the Fuck Up Friday. Cause it's, part of the whole story, part of the legacy, you know what I mean? Did you ever imagine that those clips would have the impact that they've had?
No, never. It was really, we're still humble beginnings. It was like we didn't start the page for any reason other than my son said, you need to do this. You've got me off of all this shit. You need to tell the story. You need to get out there. You need to give people free advice, like shutting the fuck up. Like people don't know when I didn't know for a long time you don't have to do the field sobriety test. And that's almost in every state.
Yep.
Pre-arrest, field sobriety test. You don't have to do. No one can believe that. I didn't want to believe it till I actually got pulled over and had to do it.
Yep.
It was right before we actually became the Pop Brothers at Law. We were talking about all these things we were learning. And one of them was you don't have to do the field sobriety test. Mm-hmm. And I got pulled over. I was asked to do it, said no. I won't go through the whole stop, but they got me out of the car. They were fucking berating me for not talking to them. And I finally said, I first said, am I being detained or am I free to go? And when I was in the car and they got me out, said, you're being detained. They wanted me to do the field sobriety test. I said, I don't consent to those. And then they had the other cop come up and scream at me about, we're just trying to help, blah, 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 blah. And I finally said again, am I being detained or am I free to go? And they said, you're free to go. And they handed me my card and didn't even give me a ticket, which was my lights were off. When I pulled into this restaurant, I turned off my auto lights on a brand new car. Mm-hmm. And the valet turned off the auto lights. So when I came out of the driveway of the restaurant, they lit me up immediately because I had my lights on. So he goes, I go, why'd you pull me over? He goes, your lights were off. And I go, fucking valet. And I click the lights and he's like, I smell alcohol. I go, bullshit. I didn't say that, but it was like I had 2 drinks over a 2-hour period with plenty of water in between. And they got me out of the car and I wasn't exactly the same script there wasn't a script then, but I knew better than to do the field sobriety test. And if we can impart that on people, so many people are going to jail. And I think we posted about this with nothing in their system because they failed the field sobriety test.
Now, do you think that's one of the most common mistakes people are still making, that is the deciding factor in what happens to them?
100%. Now, we always say, if you're swerving, if you're slurring your words, if you stink like alcohol, they don't even need to do the field sobriety test. Yeah. They pull you out, you stumble, you should go to jail. Yeah. Uber, Lyft, taxis, come on.
You could have been responsible and made that choice to
Right. You should go to jail. So we're not anti,
Yeah.
we're not pro drunk driving or impaired driving. We always I always say as a 65-year-old, if I'm too high, which doesn't happen very often anymore, if I get that high, I'm not gonna drive. I'm buzzed. I know it. I know I'm impaired, but if I'm smoking all day like I normally do, I can drive no problems. I'm not impaired. So it's doing the field sobriety test and then talking to them. Those are the two biggest problems. Is
Saying too much. Shut the fuck up.
it's
Yeah.
really that simple.
It is that simple in a lot of ways. I'm sure,
People
like you
have the
said, they're
right, but
pressuring you. You know what I mean? And that feeling of pressure, I think, is like, people crack because they can't take it
yep,
anymore.
yep.
But
Well,
if you can deal with that, stand your ground, it seems
it
like you might be better off.
it's funny. We just literally, I don't know if you've noticed, last 6 months maybe, we added to the script.
Mm-hmm.
We added after I invoke the fifth, I want my lawyer because of something you just said. Someone asked us, it was because of a follower with a question that got us thinking. He said, what if we do the whole script, invoke the fifth, and shut the fuck up, and they keep talking to us, and I crack?
Yeah.
What happens? You're fucked. You re-waived your fifth.
Exactly.
But if you ask for a lawyer, you're not literally, because people text us and go, I don't have a lawyer. And I go, you're not actually asking to talk to one right then.
Yeah.
You're saying, I want a lawyer, which implies I want a lawyer before being questioned because I'm being detained.
Yeah.
Once you're in detention, you have a right to that.
Yes.
And if you say, I want my lawyer, they badger you, and then you crack. Whatever you said after cracking, after saying, I want a lawyer, is going to get thrown out.
Yep.
Because you asked for that lawyer.
That's so crazy if you're in these industries that, can teeter in certain areas, or you're just out there having fun or going to the bars. It's like these little valuable tips of information are extremely important. First off, now that social consumption is about to take hold in the United States, and it is actually probably going to be a real thing once that happens, that we're going to have some breathalyzer or sobriety test now specifically for cannabis drivers, because it's
I hope not.
Me
I
too.
hope not.
I hope they never figure out.
We'll go to jail the first day.
Absolutely.
Even though we're not impaired.
How do you even?
Well, you know what sucks is this. What really sucks is most states, you still have to prove impairment. Right? And the way most people get into trouble is they get pulled over. They might smell like it. When did you last smoke it? Oh, 6 hours ago or this morning. And okay, DUI investigation. And then you're fucked. And then you got to show that. Then you got to hire us or someone else to show that I was not impaired. It was 8 hours earlier. Come on. I was not impaired. They didn't pull me over for swerving, and it was a regular traffic ticket. Yeah. So people get themselves into trouble by talking is one of the biggest issues.
Yeah. As we've learned over and over again in the media with the mafia and just A through Z, you know what I mean? Keeping your mouth shut. Shout out to Jay Kears, man, leading by example of what you guys taught him. You know what I mean? Like
he did. Clear example of how it worked.
Yeah.
We don't guarantee it. I mean, nothing guarantees shit, but it sure makes it a lot easier on yourself to defend whatever it is if you just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, true that. Now, inspiring the younger generation of people that are interested in being lawyers, what advice would either of you have for them to, stand your ground and be more outspoken about the things that they believe in, where they think they can make an impact?
I think most of the younger lawyers, I don't know that we found anybody who's willing to go out there and say, I smoke, I'm a consumer, I'm a lawyer. This is my advice. Oh, I might not get clients. Well, if I don't get those clients, fuck them. Fuck those guys.
Yep.
I don't care. If they don't like it, whatever, not my problem. And it's just no one has that attitude, I think, in the cannabis space as attorneys. You see all the personal injury fucking attorneys out there. Yes. But in the cannabis space, I don't know. It's just people aren't.
Shout out to Tara Hopper out here. Tara Hopper is a female lawyer. She is also a cannabis activist on the board of Maskin, which they do the Boston Freedom Rally. They're no longer affiliated with Normal, but She's helped write, legislation for multiple of the biggest dispensaries in our region, and she stands by the patients and the people. And she was the first female lawyer I seen in our region that like did that. She's like, I'm a cannabis patient. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm here to actually help people who are misrepresented in industry where they should have the most representation. You know what I mean? Because
I mean that's kind of how it all started with the medical patients. When it was just Prop 215 and it was in 64, it was just it was protecting the patients who needed it the most. They needed their medicine and they were getting harassed on the road.
Yep. Did you guys ever get to meet Dennis Perron?
No, we did not.
I wish I got to.
No, we did not.
True founding
We met a bunch of attorneys who were friends with him, but not him directly.
Yes, because there had to be an old guild of, the San Francisco and the old SoCal guys, even before you, that were kind of like, trying to make an impact, you know what I mean? But probably weren't being outspoken about it. But I always appreciated a lawyer who decided maybe this isn't the best business for me. Now I have this skill set. I'm going to utilize it elsewhere, and now they may grow. But it's kind of cool. Like, seems like some of the younger guys, like, I hope they may also make that conscious decision like you guys did to lead the next generation.
Well, what's great is, we've been on social media since 2015. Yep. So we have had a lot of kids who aren't kids anymore who have gone on to law school and told us, you inspired me to be a lawyer. I'm a lawyer now. We get calls like that and messages like that all the time. So it's very gratifying.
Yeah, it has to feel good after all the countless traveling and hours and blood, sweat, and tears you guys have put into just the scene in general. It's going to feel good to feel like, all right, our work is working here and it's made an impact, because you've helped thousands of people, I'm sure, all over the country and maybe worldwide, but especially here in the U.S. with the Southern Belt and prohibitionist mentality still has a strong hold here in the United States. So
it does. Kentucky, Georgia,
Texas just passed laws. Yes, extreme laws against cannabis concentrates. It was like, I forget exactly. I'd have to reread it. But
treating it like meth?
No, for cannabis concentrates and THC.
No, that's what I mean. They're treating it like meth.
Yeah, they really are. Like, what the hell? That scared me to see. You know what I mean? Like, you'll go to jail for like 5 to 10 grams. They're not playing games. You know what I mean? Like,
it used to be like that out here. It was like crack, man. It was stupid. Yeah. It was like, it's just concentrated cannabis, guys. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The mobile meth lab.
Luckily, we evolved at least out here to where it's the same as flower now.
Yeah, the same as flower. Now that the Shut the Fuck Up Fridays, you guys are going to do so many cool things. I want to know what it was like getting invited to be on Tosh.0, because I'm a diehard fan of the guy. He's a little bit of a weirdo, but that's one of the most popular shows on cable TV. Did you like him? Was he cool? How was that experience?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. It was great, and
it was really cool.
What was great about it? Right around that time, we did Michael Rappaport's podcast. Ridiculousness wanted to use our video, and Tosh producers called us up, and for both Ridiculousness and Tosh, we said, "Yeah, you guys make fun of people in videos. We're not about to get made fun of. Of course, it's fun what we're doing and funny, but." Yeah. We're not gonna, oh no, we don't plan on doing that. Well, let us see what's the episode. What's it gonna be? Oh, we can't show you that. I said, well, then we're not gonna do it. We're not, we weren't looking to do it. We're not asking to do it. You came to us, and if you're not gonna tell us what it's gonna be and show us the script, we're not doing it. And within 3 or 4 days, both MTV and Tosh called us back. The producers called us back and said, okay, don't share this with anybody. But here it is, and they gave us the episodes and what they were going to do and how they were going to utilize everything. And we were like, this is great. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And we went down to the studio and did the episode with Tosh. He was a blast. We pulled up, we were out in the parking lot smoking, and he rolled in and got out of his car and he goes, I think I smelled the Pop Brothers at Law.
That's hilarious, man. Like, talk about a really fun and great opportunity, and just like, you guys kind of became a part of Americana at that point.
Wow, I never thought about that.
You reach another whole hemisphere once you get to that point, and it's like, oh shit, there's actually lawyers out there And maybe you did reach another lawyer somewhere you don't know about
Right,
who's
right.
maybe trying to become a freedom fighter. And you just keep setting that example, man, because you're still inspiring people like myself. And now, so many years later, it's the new generation that you guys are starting to inspire and speak to, and every day probably following the IG and interested in the Shut the Fuck Up Fridays.
Yeah, no, I mean it's funny. Our IG's good, but it's Facebook where we're getting
I love it.
millions and millions. We're getting, I think, on average 10 million a month.
Wow.
That shoots up to 30 or 40 million on any given month with a video that somehow, I guess, the meta gods let it out completely,
Yeah.
and it garners 10 million views or 20 million
So,
views, and that's because they finally let it out. It's from what I
yeah.
learned.
Yeah.
Is how it works. They let it out, distribution, blah, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't question our guy. Sometimes we don't like what he has to say,
Hey,
but
you got to listen to him, whatever he's doing for you guys,
yeah.
social media wise. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, because the whole social media world, it's ever changing, just like the cannabis space. You got to have somebody who knows, like,
Well,
the
that's
ins and
why if you
outs.
watch our shit, we went from shut the fuck up to shut the fuck up, and he bleeps it, and that got just too time consuming. So it went to now it's shut the up.
Yep, I love it.
We don't, he doesn't have to bleep it, he doesn't have to cross it out.
Yeah,
It's just shut the up,
yeah,
because we, million other people are saying fuck, no problem, getting millions of views or whatever it is, but we can't take the chance
yep,
because he looks at the terms of service every 3 fucking months, and that algorithm changes every 3 fucking
yeah.
months.
I'm
We
saying it's
can't
good.
even say we can't say your constitutional rights because it fall into the civics bucket,
Yeah,
and it could be discourse. I mean, and people say it all the time, but we're just better safe than sorry. That's what we don't say cops. You realize that?
really? Wow.
Yeah, well, because we're so known and people just like we say it without saying it now.
Yeah,
With, if they pull you over,
yeah, exactly. You
when
have to
they
say it.
pull you over, when they take you out of the car, everybody knows who we're talking about. We just don't have to worry about putting the word police in there. It's
Yeah,
just, it's crazy. We have to actually, we're censored that much
yeah. It's
that
frustrating,
it's crazy, and they can do whatever they want. It's
but there's no stopping the wave, man. You guys have
no.
proven that over and over again, even with getting deleted and demonetized and all that stuff. Like, just keep that momentum up, because obviously it's going in the right directions. And that kind of brings me into my next question. What advice would you give someone now that's interested in getting in the cannabis industry while staying compliant?
You mean someone who wants to, not a lawyer, just someone who wants to get
Start a
in?
business, or like West Coast Cure, just start a brand.
The people who come to me, I'm the business guy. Marc's more the criminal one.
Yep.
People come to me for a consult, and they say they have a brand they want to start. And I say, I'm going to be blunt. Okay. Pun intended. I'm going to be blunt, which is, do you have a couple $1 million? Or do you have a huge brand that you're bringing over from somewhere else?
Yep.
If not, you're going to have a real, I'm not saying it can't be done. And I've had clients who've done this, and they're a big brand across the country now, another brand. And he put a shit ton of money into marketing, sales reps in all these different cities, and really went hard. If you're not willing to do that, I'd say just turn and run.
Yeah, turn and run right now.
Because you know how many products are on a shelf in a legal store? Shitload.
100.
Shitload. And why are they going to buy yours when they know
Yeah.
West Coast Cure, Jungle Boys, whatever some of the big names one that have been around and from
People seeking
that
out
were
every
able
day.
to do what my son did, which was start the actual first brand, the first branded item. They were fortunate in that West Coast Cure it ended up being synonymous with weed, but it doesn't say weed.
Yeah.
Because everybody had
the hip hop culture.
Everybody had something, extracts, this
Yeah.
oils, this extract, expert extract. And it's like he was fortunate that he never fell into that. And West Coast Cure just, and then by the fear fact of his love for the plant and his love to have people have the best weed,
Yeah.
led to the best product.
Yeah. Branding's everything, and also building your network. And I think, you guys and Jay Cures are like real true shining examples of that, because once you reach a clientele that's just A-list celebrities too, like he did, you completely crack the mold of what your business could be capable of now and in the future. And you build that level of trust. And they vouched for me a few times. I was able to meet Action Bronson. I was able to meet Louis B. Real, like out on tours, because both Jesse and Jared, like, you need to meet this kid. He's out here doing what you're looking for. You know what I mean? And I'll always be indebted to you guys and him for providing that opportunity and introducing me to those people. You know what I mean? And continuing to build the network now more than ever. If you're looking to start a brand, you got to start there. People need to trust what you're doing first of all. If you don't have, like you said, if you don't have a big brand, you need to start network with the people.
Yeah, no, and that's another thing I tell people, and I don't mean to be a buzzkill about it, because I know people are passionate about it, but
absolutely,
it's like, and I'll do it for you. You want to do this? I'm just telling you right now, don't come cry to me later if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I get you set up properly and legal, but what distributor is going to carry your product?
Absolutely.
What distro? Because it's got to go to a distro first here.
Yeah.
Then it goes to a store. So what distro is you're gonna go to the stores and sell it and then get it through the distro? Or are you gonna have the distro sell it who has 300 stores, but why should they take yours? Are you gonna give it to them on consignment, which everybody wants? They want terms, and then people aren't paying brands. It's fucked up.
Everybody's owed money.
I tell people to turn and run.
Yeah.
But if you're passionate enough, you can still make it.
And also, the legacy market is a good way to platform still, because it's stronger than ever. I think the legal industry has caused such a black hole over the USA's culture over the last 10 years that people are now reverting and want old school connection, old school sessions, and be able to get free product. And like, it's not all about dispensaries. So sometimes it's good to go back to the roots, man.
Yep. Yep. Good old days.
The good old days. Now, right now in life, like, what are you guys passionate about outside of cannabis and outside of Pop Brothers at Law? What's going on, man?
Well, mine's easy. I'm an actor and a filmmaker, and that's, as I said in the beginning, that's I wanted to make money to do that stuff. Which, fortunately, I've been able to. I've got some films that live on Amazon, and I'm still doing acting and stuff like that. My brother just likes
but you first got to
smoke pot, right?
You got to fix one problem, Mark. You got to your face. Did you hear me?
You're looking good, though.
Yeah, I heard you.
And I've been so busy.
Thank you.
My wife and I love going down to the beach, relaxing, or going to Vegas. We have fun doing a little bit of gambling, and if I can get on my Harley, if it's not too hot, I have a big ultra classic that I love riding around.
I love it, man. It sounds like you guys are really living the good life. I see you out there staying fit too, and getting the kids involved in the gym,
doing MMA
with the wives. Sounds like happy wife, happy life has worked out well for you both currently in life.
Good advice.
You're both looking incredible, might I say. I haven't seen you guys in 5.5, 6 years at least. You guys
probably from the time I saw you last, I probably have gone down 40, 50 pounds. And I've kept it off for the last 3.5 years.
No, that's everything. You guys look great, man. Now,
we appreciate that.
Currently in the state of how things are, if there's one cannabis law you guys could change, what would it be?
Make it legal completely like lettuce.
Like lettuce.
Well, not like lettuce right now. Lettuce, that's a bad example.
Yeah, it's a bad example.
We'll use broccoli.
Yeah, but like broccoli.
I mean, really, it's like, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of testing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a bad thing, but I'm 65 years old. And I've been smoking since I was 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, testing didn't come about until 5 years ago?
Yep.
I'm healthy, alive. God knows what was sprayed on it. Now, maybe the new generation of sprays and pesticides and shit's different than it was back when I was young. Yep. So given that variable, they should have testing and stuff like that. But
I agree. But grow organic.
Then the testing's unfair. Some of the testing is ridiculous. It's just the industry needs to be simplified.
Yes.
Super simplified. Like over in every state.
Over-regulated. It's different from state to state. It's crazy.
Overburdened, over-regulated, overtaxed, just all of the above. I mean,
loosen the laws and the regulations, let the people overgrow, and just let cannabis be a plant.
You know, if those who'll make it will make it, those who don't won't. And if you don't make the best, what's it called when you're a small little grower?
Micro
Cottage, like
cultivated.
a cottage industry.
Yeah,
You're,
cottage.
you know, if you can't be the best in that industry, then you shouldn't be in it. But if you're the best, like Jared always says, people ask, "We're going my weed." He goes, "If it's fire, I'll get it."
Yep.
Like he'll buy all of it.
Yeah, he will. I know he will. I'm excited for that
if it's
relaunch of the Hardcore OG. Let me tell you.
Yeah, no, it's. I think they're relaunching it. He said.
Yeah, I saw that a couple weeks ago, and it's buzzing right now.
Yeah.
One of the best strains I've ever had the pleasure of encountering in my lifetime.
Yep. You got anything else, my friend?
Yeah, man. Before we wrap things up, as you guys continue, you know, you're educating the public. What's next for the Pop Brothers at Law? What legacy do you guys want to leave behind?
I mean, I think just doing what we're doing.
Yeah, man.
Just every day reaching more people. Being pissed off when Facebook takes a shit for a few weeks, as we don't know why. It just does. And less people are seeing the word. You know, being able, you know, I don't think there's anything.
We can't reach enough people. Here, the deal is that, you know, across social media, we've got, you know, 3.5 million followers, maybe creeping it up to 4 million now. Wow. On all platforms, but we still get calls every day. Yeah. Oh, I saw your video after, and I didn't shut the fuck up, and I didn't know, and we just, you know, there's as many people as we reach. You know, my brother was talking about Facebook on a good Facebook month. We're hitting 40 million people.
Wow.
You know, and it's like we still can't reach enough. So just continuing what we're doing and just trying to remain consistent with the posting and just getting ourselves out there.
To sum up a legacy type statement potentially would be being known for the real guys who gave real advice that people listened to, and it really helped them, because we get a lot of people saying, "God, thank God I follow you. Thank God I knew what not to do. Thank God I got off with a warning, a ticket, a goodbye, a nothing." That's actually the legacy, is those guys, those shut the fuck up guys, whatever they want to call it.
I love it, man.
And I think we're more known for that.
To add to that, just as important, we want to be known as those shut the fuck up guys who did not only that, but help break the stigma of cannabis users.
Yeah, we talked that while you were gone.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You really do that every day. And thank you guys for fighting for all of our rights on a regular basis and dedicating, you know, countless decades to just represent the community and the plant the way you guys do, man.
Oh, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. We're glad we can.
Let me throw out, if anybody's going to be in the St. Louis area, what is it? August?
The end of the last weekend of the month.
Last weekend of August, Friday and Saturday, we will be at the CannaCon Expo in St. Louis, Missouri, doing
28th, 29th.
Awesome. I'll mention
the fuck up seminar.
We also
please do. And we actually have 2 seminars. Go ahead.
We added we still do the STFU seminar, and then we added a seminar where, from my business side and representing licensed cannabis businesses, we have SOPs for shutting the fuck up in business.
Cool. You're always blowing my mind, guys. I love it. Keep thinking outside the box. That's what we need, brothers. That's what we need, man. I won't take up any more time today. I commend you. I appreciate you. You guys have inspired me endlessly for so many years. I'm about to take a fat dab in your honor of the Pop Brothers at Law. Please shout out Jay Kears. Let him know you want to get him on the show. It's Bomb Fam for life, man. Appreciate you guys. Hey, let's stay in touch. Don't be strangers.
Yeah, we'll have to get out there one of these days to one of those events somehow.
Yeah, we're going to come to LA and we're going to come visit. We're going to come see you guys, maybe grab dinner.
Absolutely. Hit us up, brother. Hit us up.
Thanks, Bob.
Bless up. Thank the Torch Podcast, guys. We out.